Hey folks, please enjoy this clip from our show, which you can find every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern exclusively on Rumble. We've been doing the best shows we've ever done, completely free of censorship and on a platform that actually supports us. You can also support us on Locals, where you can access a ton of exclusive content, movie riffs, as well as an archive of over 1,000 full episodes going back as far as 7 years. We've also teamed up with Merch Engine to bring you a new lineup of really awesome quality shirts, hoodies, and now even hats. So come check out our untethered, uncensored show on Rumble every single weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern. You stupid idiots.
And very excited to have our guest on Merch. We might introducing him. I'm going to get him up here.
Yeah, the most, I guess probably the biggest guest we've ever had, right, on this?
Yeah.
Slumming it with the boys, ladies and gentlemen. Nicholaus Goossen, fucking famed director. How are you,
What's
sir?
up, man?
Hey, how are you guys? Definitely not slumming it.
Can I ask?
Thanks for having me.
Can I
Thanks
ask
for
a question
having me.
right off the jump? Because when we were off the air, like, you're obviously on the screen and we're going, when we're on break, we come back. And I just sit down and I looked, I went, he's a handsome motherfucker. And Royce is like, yeah. I'm like, the fuck's he doing behind that camera? Why aren't you in front of it, dude?
Wow, I appreciate it. You guys, look at the hunks. I'm looking at my screen right now.
Oh, this guy's been in Hollywood too long.
Yes.
He's buttering us up.
No, man, I need some traps like Royce's over there.
But dude, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on, man. Like, I appreciate it. I know you sent me a message because I was playing some of old Trevor Moore's old stuff, which, man, I love, and I love the new people they're finding him. And you told me that you were you said you directed his special, correct?
Yes, I did both of his. Maybe he had one before that, but two of his Comedy Central specials. The first one was called High in Church.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The second one we did was called The Story of Our Times.
Oh, so good.
And
too.
you were playing some of that one. I think you were playing a little bit of both of the specials,
Yeah.
but the last one we did, I think, was really great. And when I saw that you were playing those, not a lot of people, I feel like, kind of gave those specials enough respect kind of in the social media era. So it was kind of cool that, even 7 years later, even from the second one, The Story of Our Times, that they felt kind of evergreen and that you were playing them and that they were pretty meaningful, even more so because Trevor's not here, So
He honestly, I missed the Trevor Moore. Like, the Whitest Kids You Know was just an era that I was not, I was working in strip clubs and I was just in my own world at the time, and I wasn't really watching that kind of stuff. And I was late to the party with Trevor Moore, and our producer Virgie actually got me really into Trevor Moore, and he would send me shit, and I'm like, how did I miss all of this? This guy was a genius. And then Virgie got me, Virgie knows, I help cats. I'm a cat guy. I do rescue cats. And he sent me this thing called Kitty History one time, right? And I'm watching it, right? And Virgie knows my sense of humor. He knows I'm a schizo conspiracy guy. And I also love cats. And he sent it to me, and it's the first time I ever watched it, I was it starts off kind of goofy, and you're kind of and I'm like, Virgie send me this thinking I was going to like this? This is kind of whack. And then it just takes that hard left turn, and I'm like, oh my God, this is I'm obsessed. I'm still to this day obsessed with Kitty History. I think it just peaked Trevor Moore. It was insane.
If you're a schizo conspircy guy and a kitty guy,
it was
not gonna like.
Virgie was like, trust me, this is up your alley.
Oh no, that's 100% up his alley. But yeah, man, dude, it's his stuff is it's crazy because I think if that stuff would have come out now, it would have blown up. It was on the internet, it would have blown. It was just the time and
But the CIA had to kill him.
Don't start conspiracies, Mersh.
I'm just saying.
He's a conspiracy nut. You hear this guy? He's
crazy.
Saying,
man, they took him out. He knew too much.
Trevor would respect that.
Yeah, no, that's why I do it. That's literally why I do it.
That is actually the bit. The bit
he would be the guy that'd be like, yeah, keep that going at the CIA.
Yeah, he did special like you were saying with Kitty History, Mersh. It's he loves to start with these sweet premises and then keep building to this really dark, cynical place, which I just thought was hilarious. And like you were saying, I was kind of late to the Trevor game too. I obviously knew who he was. I was very aware of Whitest Kids You Know. I didn't really watch it that much. But I mean, he was very prolific from a really young age. And I mean, he was writing and producing and starring and directing, oftentimes editing too. So he was really multifaceted, very, very talented. And I was lucky enough I was put together with him by a mutual friend of ours who worked at Comedy Central at the time, a guy named Jordan Elner, who I've worked with since he's left then. He actually was a producer on my new movie, Drugstore June. And which Trevor would have definitely been in had he been around.
By the way, man, great. I got to tell you, great movie. I watched it and I was howling. And I had our producer, Pessy, he just said he would watch it too and he loved it. That movie was
I fucking loved it, man.
fucking hilarious.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, that good movie you were telling me has my wife in it.
Oh, yeah, he has a crush on Esther.
Esther Provitsky.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Esther,
Yeah, he does.
On creepy little Esther.
We
yeah,
we were watching because we goof on a lot of stuff on the show. We're always making fun of stuff, and we were watching Trash Tuesdays one day.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just like trashing this podcast, whatever. But as we were making fun of it,
No, this is funny.
Esther was just growing on us.
And then she-
we were like, we were making fun of everybody else on the show, and the show sucks. But the more she was, we're like, I'm like, I don't know, man, I kind of like Esther.
And it
Provitsky.
turned into just a crush now Mersh has. It's very funny.
I don't know why. She's just very aloof
It's
and like
the
doesn't give a
aloof
fuck, and,
dryness in this, especially in that movie. By the way, the aloof. It's so.
Yeah, she's great, man.
It's so fucking funny. Like I was saying, that is the best, at least for me, the best encapsulation of the current like disconnected generation. It was so good, man.
By the way, I just have to correct Nick on one thing that you said you were lucky enough to fucking land a Trevor Moore gig. I mean, I don't think you're lucky, man. I mean,
You're good.
Got a pretty solid resume, my man. Like,
Oh
what do you
yeah,
think?
no, I mean I appreciate that, and I just mean that sometimes you can get hooked up with all kinds of people, and the collaboration wouldn't be as fruitful. But for
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
so especially because he was a director as well, and typically he wouldn't relinquish control of certain things, and
makes
so I was kind of actually like the only person to my knowledge who has kind of come in, maybe aside from some stuff that he did with his Whitest Kids You Know boys, Zach Krieger, who's a big director now, as you know. I think I'm like the only person to kind of direct his stuff that he wrote. It could have gone sideways perhaps, if he wasn't cool, if he didn't understand what, maybe being able to take a step back from that part of the process, how that might help his being able to perform in front of the camera sometimes, which is what I was hoping to provide, that ability, and elevate his stuff.
I mean, it's funny because when you say that, I immediately know what you're saying. Trevor did seem like someone that
Control
probably wanted
freak.
complete control
Yeah, I mean,
over everything.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a vision for something, you're kind of like, I know what I want. You know what I mean? Like, look at Billy Corgan. I mean, the guy used to Billy Corgan used to send everybody home and then re-record all their parts
that's
behind
funny.
their back. That's a true story. He would re-record James's guitar parts. He would re-record Darcy's fucking bass lines and not tell them. And then still pay them royalties. He just was like, no, that was great. You guys go home. I'm going to hang back here and you guys just go ahead and I'll meet you at the bar later. And then he would literally secretly re-record their stuff.
Yeah, and that was, and you nailed it. I mean, yeah, it's like, it was, he wrote all of the music, he performed the music. I mean, there was so much of it that he did have to kind of micromanage. It was, it was helpful it was cool to be able to be there to like push him to do stuff that he normally wouldn't have done, where it's like, okay, no, Trevor, we don't have to just do this of you in front of a green screen and then showing the stuff behind you. Like, let's go out and actually shoot real scenes and real stuff in real places. And, it was just a very fun working relationship. And he worked his ass off, and he was really fun to be around. And he would have been killing on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
in these recent times. And
yeah, he was killing it.
And then Esther, it was cool because one of the bigger moments I had kind of as a test run with Esther was in that second special where Esther played Trevor's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of cool. And I'm glad that you guys kind of really also got the humor of Drugstore June. And it is that kind of aloof dryness that maybe at first, if you bump against it and you tune out right away, you're not going to get the ability to let her mesmerize you and hypnotize you with that dryness and that aloofness, which that's how I became familiar with her, is on a podcast she did with a guy named Brody Stevens. And I just found, I was listening for Brody at first, but then the more Esther talked, the more I got caught up in her tractor beam voice pattern that just drew me in, and her subtle little jabs and stuff.
It's so dry. Because I love that kind of. It's so dry. It's so.
Yeah.
I guess the word we use like disconnected, which I loved. It was just like, no, I'm in my world. This is what I'm doing, and that's. But I was laughing at it because I was like, man, I know so many people that are like this.
Man, that Brody Stevens was a sad story. That was a tragic situation, man.
Yeah, a total bummer. Guy, 818, the Valley. That was, Brody was somebody who made me laugh all the time really hard. And yeah, he is the reason why, kind of how Esther and I hooked up. So.
Yeah, that guy was like the heart and soul of the Comedy Store, like for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And he goes a ways back with one of my family's good friends, Fraser Smith, who's a longtime fixture of the LA comedy scene. And that's how, when I first met Brody, was a guy through a guy named Fraser Smith at the Ha Ha Cafe in North Hollywood on Lankershim. Was the first time I saw Brody. But yeah, that is how Esther and I hooked up, and it's a shame that Brody didn't get to be a part of the movie, because he for sure, would have been in the movie as well, just like Trevor would have been.
So I gotta ask, so you basically, did you just wrap up, or are you still wrapping up Happy Gilmore 2, right? Are you working on that?
I did just get back from New Jersey. I was out there helping out on Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah.
So we gotta ask, how does it end? Just give us
immediately ruin it.
Just give us spoilers. Give us an exclusive.
Yeah, you imagine?
Adam Sandler is in the movie. I can tell you that.
Oh man, guys,
yeah.
you heard it here first.
Hey.
You heard it here on Revenge of the Sis. Adam Sandler is confirmed for Happy Gilmore.
I'm calling Variety right now. TMZ, you got a scoop.
Can I just say, Adam Sandler? I'm obsessed with Adam Sandler because I love the fact that he's basically a billionaire. And he refuses to wear anything but hoodies and basketball shorts. It's the coolest thing ever that he's just like, yeah, I don't care. I just want to be comfortable, man. Like every shot of him that TMZ gets is just him in a Knicks hoodie.
I think that's the point of life. Once you get to the point where you don't have to wear
he
nice
always
stuff.
looks comfortable.
Yeah, he does. He really does. It's amazing.
He was at that point when I first met him already. He was wearing he was dressing comfortably. In the late 90s, mid to late 90s when I first met him.
Yeah, the two guys that have the most money that dress that way are Adam Sandler and Nick Mullen.
Oh yeah, Nick
Are the
Mullen's
two
another
people
one that
that
won't
dress?
dress.
It's literally just basketball shorts and hoodies, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm comfortable, bro. I don't need to. I'm not wearing a suit for what."
It's good.
So one of our, of course, favorite movies, and I legitimately say this is Grandma's Boy. Like we had Alan Covert on a couple weeks ago. He was just fucking hilarious.
He is a weird guy. I like him a lot.
He's awesome.
He is an odd guy, man. He is fun.
Yeah, he was great.
Covert?
He is an odd guy.
There's a reason why he's been able to play all those kooky characters over the years.
Yes.
Yeah, you see that. But yeah, man, that movie is I would say definitely cult classic at this point. It is one of the.
It's one of the most. It's still to this day one of the most quoted movies. Like I don't.
I still quote it all
everybody.
the time.
Like I'm talking separate groups of friends that I have, like friends that don't even interact with each other, and but everybody has like a line from that movie that they still quote to this day. It's insane.
I love that. Yeah, that's exactly the type of movie that we set out to make. and it was kind of painful at the time when it first came out. It was my first movie, and we actually, it came out in January of 2006 up against Hostel, the very first Hostel.
Yeah.
And we had, for now, it would be considered a pretty wide release, 2,000 screens. And I remember a couple of weeks before it came out, Adam had called me and said, hey man, because he was really happy with the movie. I mean, we all were. And he called me a couple of weeks before the release and said, yeah, dude, it's not going to do well. And I was like, what? Huh? What do you mean? It's because back then you could really track the openings pretty well.
Right.
And sure enough, opening weekend, it was just like there was nobody in the movie theaters. And then out of the 10 people that were there, half of them would walk out. They were older people who just, by the time the whacking off to Lara Croft happens, that was usually when the older patrons would start filing out of theater.
Imagine these fucking boomers sitting there going,
yeah,
what am I
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, they thought they were seeing Shirley Jones and Shirley Knight and Doris Roberts in like a
Oh no.
fun romp.
Oh no. I didn't even think of
I
that. That's
didn't
right.
think about
because
that.
they were on the poster too and
Yeah.
everything, right? Like they were
Yeah.
oh no.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. That's very
Yeah.
funny, actually.
Yeah, so
Is
By
this
the way,
movie about video games and cum?
By the way, she was fucking phenomenal in that.
Oh, she was so
that whole
fucking fun.
yeah,
that
she was so good.
That cast, I was watching
Doris Roberts or
Yeah. I mean,
all of them.
Well, I mean, all of them. No, but I meant Florence Roberts. It was just fucking because especially like at that time, it started to almost become kind of a trope of like the edgy having an old lady in a movie thing, right? But like it transcended that. Like the material was there.
It was so funny.
and it was so funny that it holds up as opposed to like. Again, like it's a bunch of movies where they just have a grainy like curse at the end, and you're like, it's kind of like shoehorned in there. She was so, like, it was just bizarre. You go back and watch that movie. The shit they talk about.
I rewatched it recently, and I was laughing, but also that I was like, bro, the fucking cast in that movie, so many people.
Yeah, dude, it's an all.
Have gone to do so many big it was crazy when you really go through it.
It's like going back and watching the U.S. basketball team in the '94 Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a dream
and
team,
you're like,
right?
holy shit, bro, we had some dudes out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty lucky with the way that we were able to put that cast together. We shot it in LA in 25 days. And we were working, and that was at the time, Doris was on Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody was on a TV show at that point, and like a big network TV show, and we were shooting around these TV schedules, and we were somehow able to put that puzzle together. We did a lot of casting. It took a minute to kind of find the right people. I think Joel was like the last person we cast in a major role for JP. That took it felt like we saw every young actor.
Dude, he's so. I was watching outtakes that there were of JP that he was just breaking everybody, and that God damn it, that movie. Just the cutting room floor stuff has to be some of the fun with the people. Just looking at the people that Kevin Nealon, like Jonah Hill, Nick fucking Swartzen killed in that movie too.
I feel like there's like a missed opportunity here where a lot of these old movies, like they should be releasing all that stuff on like YouTube and monetizing it. Like, because I would spend hours watching like outtakes that never.
No,
made it to
you can't
DVD,
put it
know
on
what I mean?
YouTube. Here's why: because a lot of people they're releasing movies on YouTube, and the problem is, YouTube has them, but since it's YouTube and they're censored, they have to edit them like it's a TNT movie, like when a movie comes out.
Well, yeah,
for
I don't mean the
TNT.
movies themselves. I'm talking about like the cutting room floor stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like there's just all this stuff that's like littering the cutting room
Well, no,
floor,
but-
and you're like, why don't monetize it? Throw it up on a channel somewhere and make a little money.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's on DVD extras that I guess that's the thing about DVD. I used to love DVD extras, right? And
Nerds.
this
Fucking
no,
nerds.
dude, I am a nerd.
Bunch of nerds.
The commentaries was great. Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
that's what I like to hear. Yeah, what I like to hear is directors talking about the movies they make. No offense. Well, I like to hear directors talk about their good glory days.
You're such an asshole.
Man, I do love listening to.
I love that. Dude.
I'm kidding. I actually
ones,
do like that stuff too. Yeah, I love it.
It's insightful, especially if you've made a couple and then you listen to some of the guys talk about what they did to make some classic. You can really relate. But even if you haven't made a movie, it's like I listened to a ton before I made Grandma's Boy, and so I felt like I had learned some lessons, at least through osmosis somehow. The Grandma's Boy commentary, I was pretty stoned right before I recorded that.
Well, that's
pretty sure everybody was super stoned on that set.
That's apropos. That's apropos, though. You should be stoned for the Grandma's Boy one, right?
It's true, yeah, I know, but I think I had to do it by myself, which was odd. I don't think I was prepared to do that. My very first DVD commentary and stoned by yourself, so it's a little boring. The other guys got to record it together. I think it was just because scheduling.
Right.
So that was a bit of a bummer, but yeah, I can tell you we had a lot of fun making that movie. It was 25 days, so it was quick. It was in LA.
25 days?
Damn,
really?
You guys banged that out.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, we had a great crew. It was like a lot of people who I had kind of been around through working through Happy Madison for several years at that point. And then a bunch of new people too that we hired for some key roles, like the director of photography, Mark Irwin, who I basically hired because he had shot things like Scream, the Cronenberg movies, but also mostly because he had shot Old School with Todd Phillips.
Oh, okay.
He shot tons of movies, but just some of the ones I just named were his most notable at the time. And yeah, it was a ton of fun, quick but fun, and but Adam was right when he called me a couple weeks before it came out. He said in a couple of years is when people are going to start loving this thing, and he was exactly right. It took a little while after the DVD kind of culture helped it grow and spread, and 2 years after it came out, it was super popular.
Yeah, it blew up, and I actually went to go see it in theaters when it came out.
Thank you.
I'm one of the few. I thought it was yeah. Then I also left out to the Laura Croft masturbating scene. No,
I went to Hostel
yeah.
later.
I don't think I saw it in theaters.
Yeah,
but
you went to Hostel instead.
Yeah.
No. I saw Grandma's Boy. I paid for Grandma's Boy, and then afterwards we kind of hung out and then snuck into Hostel. So Hostel got no money from us.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Well,
that's how you do it.
Well, I remember seeing commercials on NBA games where it was like Quentin Tarantino presents, and it was a heavy marketing campaign for Hostel, and I was like, ooh, we might be cooked.
Yeah, but
I will say this. I didn't see it in theaters, and I apologize for that. However, I did buy and lose 3 copies of Grandma's Boy.
That is true.
Over the years.
Right,
so I made it up. Yeah, I bought at least 3 copies. I had one I lost, and then one I think I left in a car on a trip, and then my ex-girlfriend stole a copy. So that's true. Yeah, so I bought a bunch of copies.
It's a hot commodity.
Nick Swardson said that he was in a room with Sandler and the Blockbuster Video president or something, early aughts or something like that, and he had told them that Grandma's Boy was their #1 most stolen or non-returned.
Yep. That's very funny.
Hilarious.
So yeah, we definitely did well in the home video market.
It's the most not returned. It's like, hey, listen, man, we really are actually very excited about how great your movie is. It's obviously very popular, but your fans are pieces of shit. Could they please bring my DVD back? We're a business.
How did it come about? How did it come about, the idea, and then you ending up directing it?
It was we were looking for a movie to develop around Covert for a while, and Covert had to stay with his grandmother at one point, and he was stuck living with her for a couple of weeks. So it was that combined with he and I both loved video games, and we had been kind of helping with the development of the Sandler related video games. Like Little Nicky had a Game Boy Advance game.
Yep.
That,
That's right.
we were kind of involved in the making of. So we worked with this company called Digital Eclipse, which is a very cool company, and I think Activision as well. And so we were going around to all different kinds of video game companies, and taking tours and making the rounds around these places and seeing like the tester rooms and the whole everywhere. We were just given red carpet tours of these places at that time through New Line Cinemas and or Studios, who I think was distributing that movie. And so I think it was through those things that we kind of came up with the idea. Covert wrote it. A mutual friend, Adam's manager's son, wrote a draft, and then that draft was kind of rewritten by Nick Swartzen, and Sandler did some writing on it. I did a little writing on it, Covert, and that was then that was the script that we ended up shooting. It was always meant for like me to direct and Covert to star in.
I mean, again, was there a lot of improv going on? Because it feels like there was a lot of improv going on in the as far as the movie goes.
Yeah, there was plenty of improv.
Yeah,
plenty of improv, plenty of tags. A lot of it was written, but then certainly there was a lot of alts and I mean numerous. I mean, I think if you see some of the gag reel which I actually cut that gag reel, I think with the one that I forget what music it's playing to, but Moving Units maybe is one of the songs. And I mean, just different line readings all the time and little things here and there. So yeah, tons of improv. You couldn't get these guys to shut up.
Yeah, I can imagine. Alan was telling us a story where they were laughing about like this photo that was on set of a kid, and I just kept breaking them, and they kept laughing about it. Like he was saying on the set where the staircase was going upstairs, there was just a photo of a kid, and they got high, and they just kept roasting this photo of this kid on set. And I was like, I'm looking behind you. Are those comic books you have above your head?
Yeah,
okay, that's awesome.
Some CGC graded comic books from my childhood, bought off the rack.
Ooh. We should send him a copy of ISOM.
What
comic book guy?
Yeah. What is your prize? What is your rarest comic that you have?
My rarest is probably, I don't know, maybe this Amazing Spider-Man number 25.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not in great. That one's not in great condition.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the first appearance of Mary Jane, Spider-Man's girlfriend / wife. Yeah, a couple of older Spider-Mans, but yeah, pretty much that Spider-Man 25.
Yeah. Are you as comic book movie out as we are?
Yeah, I mean, again, coming from a guy who has comic books up on
right, that's why I was asking.
Office. I mean, I really have kind of grown pretty weary of the last several cycles.
God, I remember being so excited to see Iron Man. Like, I remember seeing the first Iron Man.
Oh, that was so cool.
20 years ago.
I was like marking out.
And being like, man, this is so awesome. And I never imagined the level of fatigue that I would have for cape hero movies. It's just like, oh.
Yeah. I will say that I thought that Thunderbolts trailer looked kind of good.
Okay. I did like Deadpool and Wolverine. But I like anything Ryan Reynolds in. I think he's funny. So I'll pretty much watch.
Deadpool and Wolverine isn't like that's more of like a comedy, and you're gonna go get some popcorn, and it's like it's kind of supposed to just be a mindless 2 hours where you're like, all right, that was fun.
What?
People getting blown up and cracking jokes, and like that's fun. But a lot of these movies, like especially as like Avengers started getting more pretentious.
Yeah, I know.
And it started being like this, like we're saving the world, man. And it's like, stop, dude. I just want to watch the Incredible Hulk kick the shit out of like Thanos and shit. That's all I want to see.
Bro, they really cucked him out too. Like they just had Thanos beat the shit out. Like it wasn't even a fight. Like what was it?
Like,
what was that?
Think about the mood for the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
And then the mood for the last Avengers movie. It's so far removed from the original. Like, I'm having a drink in my limo and I'm making weapons and I'm cracking jokes and I'm the Iron Man guy. And then it just became like, we're society's only hope. Democracy rests on our shoulder. And you're like, oh, God, enough. It's just, you're superheroes. You're not even real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, enough.
Yeah, I guess no comic book movie of the modern era has been able to touch the hype I had. I guess maybe because I was a kid was when the Batman 1989 came out, and even Batman Returns.
Dude, I fucking love that.
That movie still holds up.
It still holds up.
It's amazing.
And
how it's
I know it's nostalgia glasses too, and I understand.
No, but it holds up.
But
There's some stuff that just holds up.
I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton in general, but he's that movie is so good, and Tim Burton like at his peak, like that is.
And it's not just like looking at it through like nostalgia, because honestly, like there's stuff I can look back on that I loved as a kid that doesn't hold up as well.
Like the Schumacher Batmans, for example.
Well, I mean, even like honestly, like and I'll say it, like even some Sandler stuff like doesn't hold up compared to other Sandler stuff, right? Like you know, like I really Billy Madison nowadays, I'm like, like I could take or leave it. I can still watch Happy Gilmore. I can watch Happy Gilmore 50 times in a row. That's still a great movie. I can still watch what's the
I love
the one?
Big Daddy.
That's
Big
the one I was
Daddy.
trying to think of.
I love
like
Big Daddy.
you know what I mean? There are some that you go, wow, that is still a great fucking movie.
Well, okay.
But Grandma's Boy is another one that holds up. But I'm just saying. So yeah, I just think Batman '89 it holds up because it's still it's Tim Burton, dude. It's a
that leads me
movie.
to the next question. We talked to a few different people that are in the industry and make movies, and Alan brought this up.
We're a big deal.
We're a big deal. I don't know.
we're a big
Never name drop. Jay Moore taught me that. Anyway, no, what I'm saying is, it's really there's not any more just not low, but I guess low budget fun movies anymore. Everything has to be a blockbuster. Have you seen that happening?
Well, I mean, yes, and that is why it was so hard to make the movie that I put out this year, Drugstore June, which is a low budget. It is technically rated R, even though it's non-rated because somebody didn't want to pay the $4,000 to get it rated.
Right.
But it would have been rated R anyway, which some argue like, well, better to have a non-rating than a rated R because that could hurt you in certain elements of sales.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, our movie would be rated R because they smoke weed in it on camera. And
right.
They're stuff like that. But it is certainly seems like a much tougher climate to get those types of movies made, and certainly get them made as like a studio project with a big budget. And certainly to get them made as a studio project with a big budget to be released theatrically, not just straight to a streamer.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe that pendulum will swing back and we'll get some more of those soon, which,
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that people want that. I think most people we talk to are kind of are kind of, like we talked about earlier, burnt out with superhero movies and all that stuff. And that, Alan brought this up, but there's another good point that there's not a lot of any more good, like, coming of age, like, comedy movies like there used to be. There's like, a couple, but like not really a lot anymore. If you think about it, what's the last like super bad that we had,
Right. I mean, I guess they're coming out on streaming platforms. They're not getting to me.
Yeah.
Probably because of my algorithm but it used to be that if there was a coming of age movie or a teen movie that came out, it would have a giant marketing campaign around it because it would be made for sure it would be catered towards certain audiences, but I mean, it felt like every movie they made could be, anybody could kind of walk into any movie at any point and perhaps enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But there was just more awareness across the board. But yeah, it seems like now if you want to make those types of movies, you're gonna have to be like a super indie filmmaker, going back to like that type of, Kevin Smith style, like what he did back in the day. That's UPS, guys.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a government. I called the CIA on you.
Yeah. That's UPS.
A government asset.
I actually, Nick, I'm Patsy. I'm one of the producers. Oh, is he going?
One sec, guys.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
He's gonna go scream at the UPS guy.
Who do you like? Wes Watson did.
I'm doing something.
I am doing something. You jerk.
I have autism locked and loaded, so I'm ready.
He seems like the nicest guy. Like he just would never do that.
They're yelling at him.
Just picture him going off. I'll be right back, guys. The UPS guy just mutes and goes, "You piece of fucking dog shit!"
Yelling at him and pointing at him. Can you imagine?
Come back. Hey guys, sorry about that.
Did I not mute? Did you hear that? Hey, now's a great time to remind you guys. RevengeOfTheSith.locals.com. If you sign up for just $7. For there or patreon.com/we're-not-sorry, you get tomorrow's show.
Imagine he gets home invaded and murdered, and
that would be terrible.
And it's on our show, and we get blamed.
Well, they're good for our analytics, I guess, but terrible for him.
The suspects arrived disguising themselves as UPS workers.
Oh, he didn't get murdered, thank God. We were worried. We were worried.
We didn't want the bad luck of like, oh God, imagine if Nick gets murdered
on our
in
show.
a home invasion while he was on our show.
Thank you, guys. I had a sign for that. I knew it was coming. Of course, he came right during. He gave me like a 17-hour window.
Like as they do. Our producer Pessy had a question because he's a big fan. Pessy?
Yeah, man. I just had a couple quick questions. It's really nice to talk to you, man. I've been a fan for
Thanks.
a while. So you were an associate producer for Shush Don't Tell. So I was wondering, and I know you directed the music video for Secret, which is one of my favorite songs ever. Wow. I still listen to it. I was just wondering what your favorite track off of that album is personally, and also whose balls are in the background of that music video. Whose balls are those?
I feel like you know the answer to that question.
Are they Nick's?
They're not Nick's, but they are another famous comedians.
Oh wow, that's hilarious.
That video was shot in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I believe that was shot in the balls section. I believe was shot in the Santa Fe Penitentiary.
That's hilarious.
Like the old one where there was a huge prison riot during the making of The Longest Yard. Mm-hmm. In 2004, those are Joey Diaz's testicles.
Those are Joey.
What?
Those are Joey Diaz's testicles. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I get around, cocksucker. My balls are fucking everywhere.
All the more. It was like we needed somebody to take their testicles out, and we were like, oh, how about the guy who's just always taking his testicles out?
Hey, Joey, let's see your balls.
It turned out I already had my balls out.
And I was also wondering, man, I was also wondering, I know that Nick, at one point, he wrote a 4-part mystery series, Gay Robot and the Curse of the Haunted Jockstrap. I'm wondering if he still has that script and if you guys would ever consider actually doing a gay robot movie or something to bring that back.
Gay Robot's a great premise.
It is. A Gay Robot is a great premise.
Yeah, I was part of the original sketch. It was me, Sandler, Loughran, Jonathan Loughran, and Nick Swartzen on that. Somehow I wasn't involved in the live action pilot that they shot for Comedy Central. But they did shoot something for that. It did not end up going, but the Gay Robot has come back in a couple of different iterations. But
I saw it on Futurama.
Well, I mean, it felt like Swartzen was we were kind of at the forefront of the gay robot frontier. Mm-hmm. But we missed our chance to like really hit it big with the gay robot.
The gay robot frontier.
This is starting to sound like an Elon Musk like brainstorming session.
Yeah.
Like what about Mars? We have what gay
my favorite song on Shh Don't Tell. I don't know. I guess if it's not Secret, then God, I remember there was Mayor of Pussytown.
That one's Horror. Where Are You is my favorite.
Oh yeah, well that sketch, yeah, that one is great. Four, yeah, four is amazing.
I'm telling you guys, all this stuff is back, bro. America's back, dude. We can make all these jokes are back. Everyone's allowed to be funny again. Everything's awesome again. Everyone can be funny again. And I'm just saying, like, the pendulum swung back a lot. Like a lot of people that were, I mean, look at it. Look at it. Netflix is giving specials to people that were canceled. Like it feels like we were allowed to be funny again, right?
Yeah, well, it feels like there was never a dearth of specials. Those things have been coming out nonstop, left and right, for the past, I feel like, 10 years straight. Which, if you haven't seen it, check out the new Sandler special, which I was a producer on this year. What's it called again?
I got. Don't worry, I got you. Guy who was a producer on it. It's I got you. It's Adam Sandler. Love You.
Love You. Yeah. Love You. That's right. Yeah.
Adam Sandler. I haven't seen that one. I did see 100% Fresh, and that was great. That was hilarious.
100% Fresh. I directed some of that and shot some of that, cut some of that. Was a producer on that. That was a really fun, very, very fun special. Really, really cool special. Love You. I didn't shoot any of it. I wasn't on set, but I helped out in post production.
Okay.
And really cool special.
Yeah, dude. The thing was with Sandler's somebody who has continually been funny and successful. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you think back how far, so many people have fallen off, and he's
and also, can I just point out, like, controversy free.
That's the other thing that's crazy.
Like Hollywood is it's just like all you hear about is just nightmare story after nightmare story. It's like everybody's a pedophile or a rapist or a murderer, and it's like everybody that's like ever talked about Adam Sandler, like, yeah, he's a really nice guy. You're a cool dude. Likes to wear basketball shorts and hoodies. Just fucking make comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here to just confirm that. One of the nicest, coolest guys, super generous. Just been a really great friend to me for many years now. Almost 30. I met him on the set of The Wedding Singer.
Well, he's loyal as shit. Yeah, I mean, that's like a known thing.
Yeah, everyone we talk to
once he's worked with you and he likes you, it's like, yeah, no, I'll bring in every time I need somebody. That's loyal dude, man.
Yeah. Super hardworking, and inspiring in that way, and just he's the king.
By the way, as a degenerate gambler, I fucking loved Uncut Gems. Like I was late to
movie was amazing.
I was late to the Uncut Gems party, and then I was at a hotel in New York, and it was just one of those things where it was on, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'll finally watch Uncut Gems. And I was just sitting in a hotel room having a few beers, and as a degenerate gambler, I'm like, this fucking movie rules. Like, I fucking loved he was so great in that, man.
He's really, really good in Uncut Gems. I really like that movie. Just
that ending scene, like, not to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but that ending scene when he's watching that Celtics game, I know that frantic energy, and it's so funny. You just watch, the tip, okay, that was the hardest part. Don't worry. That was the hardest part. He already got that. We're good. Look at that. One rebound already. And you're like, oh my God, he's insane. It was weird transformation, man.
Incredible performance and just such a well-crafted movie. So well made.
Can I say something that blew my mind and I never thought I would say this, but my God, is Bad Barbie fucking hilarious in Drugstore June. She is so fucking funny.
Oh, is she in that movie?
Yes, and
I haven't seen Drugstore June. I will admit,
I meant to tell you this because
I was give it a chance.
Oh, I absolutely
no, he
will.
Yeah, he will. He's just lazy.
Yeah,
he's just lazy. But I'm telling you,
I'm looking it up.
I was like, because I had to look at. I didn't lock into my brain who it was. I'm like, is that no? Is that? And I go to my wife, Marie, is that's Bad Barbie? Yeah. What the? And I was howling. Dude, her work, in the movie, she works at a dispensary as a cashier, and she is exactly like every dispensary cashier I've ever dealt with. Is so fucking funny. They're just not giving a shit attitude. That movie,
so I gotta tell you. So you're telling me she's got like some chops then?
Dude, I was howling at one point at that scene. Yeah.
She's just a natural screen presence, you know? She's just got a funny voice. She's just got a funny way about her.
Yeah.
And, you know, we wrote that role for her, you know? So it was written for her.
I always felt bad for that kid, man. I mean, she's not a kid anymore.
She's an adult.
But she was a kid, you know what I mean? She got kind of thrust into a weird world at a very young age, man. You know, it's
some people make it through though. I mean,
no, I mean she obviously, you know, she worked it and she made it out.
It was her and I think Trevor Wallace. I know Trevor Wallace because I've seen his skits. He's pretty funny. Were the ones that they're working the dispensary. That was the exact. Like, if you've ever been to a dispensary, you fucking nailed it. Like, that was the exact vibe. I've been there and heard them be like, are you going to do the thing? Or?
Is it more frustrating to buy legal weed or illegal weed?
It's tough. It's tough.
You either have the guy from Grandma's Boy who owns a tiger and wants you to hang out with him all day, and you don't want to, and play Street Fighter, and you're like, I got to go, man. I got to go do that. Or it's the, what? Huh? Just pick out what you want, man.
It's kind of getting where you kind of want to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah,
yes. It's
I do it the old-fashioned way in the mail. Just kidding. Just joking.
It's like the Mitch Hedberg joke. I love my FedEx guy. He's my drug dealer, and he doesn't even know it.
Yeah, my UPS guy.
That's why he had to sign for it. Yeah. Look, when it's uncut, he's got to sign it. Okay, that's how it works in the biz.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for being on,
Dude,
man.
this was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
You're awesome, man. Seriously.
You're a little bit out of our league, so this was nice. Now we get to brag.
Well, I really appreciate that, you guys.
Yeah, you can't be a talented director and handsome. That's pretty fucked up.
It's kind of annoying.
Like, how dare you?
I'm slightly annoyed at how good looking you are. But and now it's cool.
I'm going to do like hopefully 100 push-ups after looking at you for this whole.
How old are you?
I'm 46.
You're fucking suck my dick. Are you really 46?
46.
I'm 42. This guy looks like he's like 35 years old, maybe.
Well, he's got those annoying like European Nordic genes.
I don't like
what I mean? It's
living in Venice Beach here, Southern California.
We're in Florida. We're in Florida. I'm in Florida.
Yeah,
so.
We're like you, except we don't pay taxes.
Yeah, we're like you without income tax.
I know. Yeah. God. No, hopefully something's gonna happen with our.
Oh, please.
Government over here. Yeah.
This was so much fun. Thank you for coming on. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to name dropping you as much as possible now in the future.
Just so you know.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. My friend, director of Grandma's Boy, Nick Goossen. Yeah, I'm sorry. My pal.
Thank you very much, Mersh. Yeah, you got to watch Drugstore June. Too.
No, I'm gonna make it.
I will 100% watch it.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna. Dude, this was. I have to ask. Oh, I can't forget. I'm sorry. I can't.
I'm gonna see Drugstore June. Royce is gonna give me your phone number, and then I'm gonna text you every 5 minutes with things I would have done differently.
That's perfect. That's the kind of guy he is, actually. Hey,
okay, great.
You know, hey, you up? And by the way, Mercer watched this movie at like 4 a.m, so you're fucked.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 5 a.m. You're gonna be 2 a.m. your time, going, why is he texting? Honestly, I really just thought the framing in that shot was dog shit. Like, you could have done a little better. And the lighting, what were you thinking?
No,
I have to ask one question because my buddy that I do morning show with, JJ, told me to ask when you were on. Did the monkey ever do anything crazy on the set of Grandma's Boy?
That was his question.
He almost ripped Dante's teeth out.
What?
Yeah. The monkey. Well, one time he did put his hand in and he applied some pressure to the teeth of Peter Dante, who played Dante. Another time he kind of quasi lunged at Covert in the scene where he's driving the car.
Yeah.
But the craziest thing I saw was when they demonstrated. Remember when he jumps down the stairs to karate kick Dante? They demonstrated him jumping down an actual flight of metal stairs right in front of me, and he jumped and landed with such force, like in a superhero pose, and it shook the earth, and it was quite frightening. And this was right around the time when that one chimp kind of, ripped the genitals off like an elderly couple or something on their birthday. So
I remember that, and there were the chimps that were ripping faces off. I remember that too.
Yeah, it was that era when we shot Grandma's Boy with the chimp. So we were a little edgy about Harry the chimp, but thankfully he did not He went for Dante's teeth once.
But that's
He
it.
went
Listen.
over it. That was it.
That's not bad. That's not bad compared to that could have been
Yeah.
a face ripped off. Okay, I had to ask that before you left, dude. Thank you,
I'm glad
so
we snuck
much.
that in there. I'm glad we snuck
It
in
was
the chimp violence.
important to get that in there.
Tell JJ his questions suck.
I will tell him.
All right.
I will tell
Tell
him.
him I said that. Did the monkey ever do anything wacky? Shut up, JJ. Fucking asshole.
People ask questions. What do you want? You know that movie. The movie was a big part of their life, dude.
That's why I tried to give something there.
And you know what you did, and you know what? Thank you for slumming it with us, man. We really do appreciate it.
This was awesome.
And if you anything you ever want to promote, you please shoot me a message. You come on.
Yeah,
we
I'm sure he
promote
needs
it.
our help.
I know you need our help.
Yeah,
but
the big
whatever.
ROTC bump.
The big ROTC bump. No, I know at least one more person that's going to watch Drugstore June. You, Mersh. So there you go. That's a bump. That's one more.
One more viewer. That's helpful.
And I'm gonna bully the audience too. All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, man, so
take it
much.
easy. See
That
you
was
later.
awesome.
Bye. There goes
day.
Mr. Goossen.
See ya.
That was fun, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, he rules. Greasy N-word high in church is
Joey.
legendary.
It took every bit of self-control when he said that the monkey almost ripped Peter Dante's teeth out for me to. I was like, oh my god! I was like, God, it's such a perfect. He's teeing me up. I was like, no, don't do this to me.